This samurai-style diver looks like an armor on the wrist, both fierce and refined. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Mad Corner here, and for this episode, we are still roaming around Nagoya, Japan, but we are going to put our focus in a hobby that we all like here. Most likely you already know that we're going to put all of our attention to watches. However, there's a bit of a twist here. Apparently, there is a new Yodobashi here in Sakae, but I'm quite sure that it is the old one. They just moved here last month. That's around Feb of 2026. Today is March 20, 2026. So let's just make sure that we align ourselves here in terms of the timeline, because there's a huge chance that once you visit this place, inventory will be different. But don't worry, because I am here to give you a good glimpse of what's available inside. Plus, we're going to add the address on the description box down below. So just in case that you will be persuaded by this episode, you can check this one during your visit in Nagoya, Japan. One more thing, if patience is not really your strongest asset and you want accurate or real-time updates from me, check out our Instagram and follow me, because that's where I am more active and I post all of the watches that we encounter during our travel. And if you want to share some of your recent pickups or anything that is remotely connected to our channel, please do check our Facebook group. Both links can be found on the description box down below, and they will be pinned in the comment section as well. Let's now start the watch hunt, and again, this is the new Yodobashi in Sakae, Nagoya, Japan. Just in case you're curious, the name of the building is Sunshine Sakae, right there. And next to it would be the Book of Super Bazaar Sakae. So you can hit two birds in one stone in this area. Yodobashi is also known for being an electronics place. Okay, so beyond watches, you can find more than that. And since we are deducing things, you need to go to the basement 1, because that's where the magic happens for this hobby. A cool way to start would be showing familiar colors from the Dodger Seiko Prospex SBEJ029. The watch features a white dial with high contrast of blue and red accents, often described as having a yacht, rock, or marine aesthetic. It has a 4:30 date window powered by the caliber 6R54, a GMT automatic movement that beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, allowing independent adjustments of the 24-hour red hand, ideal for tracking a second time zone. The stainless steel case with super hard coating measures 42mm in diameter, roughly 13.3 to 13.4mm thickness, and 48.4mm to 48.6 lug to lug, providing a balanced wearable size for most people. As a tourist with duty-free privilege, you can buy it at 222,750 yen, close to 1,400 USD or 84,000 PHP. Of course, a new set of the Seiko beloved Alpinist, flexing their DNA from the original design but extended their reach with some playful colors. The SBDC 207 for the blue, SBDC 209 for the black, but for timeless approach, we have the SBDC 211 and quite vivid in your screen, the classic green dial. A bold red dial reflecting sunlight that dances on its sharp bezel and steady tick. This samurai-style diver looks like an armor on the wrist, both fierce and refined, ready for the adventure yet crafted with thoughtful detail. If I will have extra funds and want to add that flashy red wrist style, I am all eyes and ears on the Seiko SBDY129 that has a samurai diver approach. A standout among divers, the red dial isn't just aesthetic, it improves visibility underwater. The red Samurai has Seiko caliber 4R35, an automatic with manual winding movement. It has a big case, approximately around 41.7mm, which does not suit well with my wrist. How unfortunate, right? But if all stars will align for me, I would love to have my Samurai in bloody red. When we say Astron, it feels like a blast from the past. But if you will add SBX D037, it metamorphs to a futuristic GPS solar watch from Seiko. It has a gray titanium case, gleaming under the first light. Built for travelers who chases horizons, it locks onto GPS satellites in seconds and adjusts time zones without a second thought, as if it knows where you're headed before you do. Its dial pattern feels like the inside of a spacecraft, evoking weightless motion and cosmic precision with every tick. This Astron Nexter 2025 limited edition is part of Seiko's forward-looking Astron lineup, and the futuristic approach is very obvious in your screen. It houses a Seiko caliber 3x62 GPS solar that syncs and fully solar powered. Another big boy with the size of 42mm, with a 100-meter water resistance and of course, sapphire crystal glass. Since it is a titanium build, definitely lightweight and durable. How can I forget the lovely ladies out there or your partner in life? The Seiko SS VM062 whispers elegance on the wrist. Its warm brown dial shimmering like autumn leaves at dusk, and the open heart reveals a glimpse of the beating mechanical marvel under its dial. A reminder that beauty and precision can coexist in harmony. Strangers pause to admire its delicate balance, and that stranger is me right now. It is called Lucia Open Heart, a name that reflects its graceful design and visible movement window of 4R38 automatic with manual winding option. Of course, the size is 34.6mm, which is quite standard with the water resistance of 100 meters, ideal for casual wet days. It also owns a glass of a sapphire crystal, so do not worry that much about it. This is part of Seiko's Lucia collection, known for combining fashionable design with reliable mechanics. I am lucky enough to meet some of you folks watching our channel, and why am I surprised right now that a good number of you loves the Seiko Japanese Garden, and right in front of us is the SARY238. From the moniker itself, a collection inspired by traditional Japanese aesthetics. The open heart window at the dial reveals the beating mechanical heart, a feature many watch lovers find hypnotic, including me. Enthusiasts often recommend this as a first mechanical Seiko watch because of its balance of elegance, craftsmanship, and everyday wearability. No need to stress yourself with the 4R39 automatic and manual winding movement, 41.8mm case size that sits well for medium-built wrists. Though it has a 50-meter water resistance, I still suggest avoiding water dips, plus it goes with a glass of sapphire crystal. I always say this, but it is true. Your watch hunt in Japan will not be completed without Grand Seiko. The SBGE 279 sits on your wrist like a product of steel and light. It has a textured dial that shimmers but not to the point of visual violation. It has a straightforward approach with a certain flow as you look at it and feels like a gift from an elf or a dwarf. Aside from its beauty, it sweeps every second with the spring drive caliber 9R66. It's an automatic with manual winding movement plus GMT and power reserve indicator. I do love the 40mm case size, which makes it forgivable for me to wear because I really don't have a huge wrist size. On top of that, 100-meter water resistance, just enough for some casual splash. But at the end of the day, it all depends to your personal tolerance when it comes to those elements. It is also claimed that this wrist piece reflects Grand Seiko's interpretation of Japanese beauty, often compared in spirit to iconic snowflake-style finishes. As we progress inside this Yodobashi, Casio is now showing up and it feels like they are not an inch short for you. I know that dress watches can be demanding when it comes to the budget, but Orient breaks that stigma because their design is always a conversation starter without breaking the bank. I do still have my Orient Bambino and I do not think that it will leave my collection while seriously considering adding one more. We are now up to Omega, and as you can see, there are two types of tags. White are the regular price and yellow tags are seasonal sale pieces. I can clearly remember last year during Golden Week, they have a lot of items with serious discounts. Boys and girls, that kind of sums up the watch section for this new Yodobashi in Sakae. Unfortunately, the dedicated space for the watch area is a bit small compared to the other Yodobashis that we have visited. However, they made sure that they are going to maximize every centimeter of that portion of the store. Do I recommend Yodobashi? Brutally speaking, no. All because they don't provide that extra discount. Whatever the tag price is, just remove 10%, that is it. Unlike Big Camera, you have that extra discount coupon. Don Quijote's, they have that as well. And even the outlet parks, they have a lower base price. You can also acquire that extra discount coupon. With those elements combined, why are we still doing some Yodobashi episodes? Simply because they have a very updated watch inventory. For example, those new Seiko Prospex, you saw them here. That Seiko 5 collaboration with Huff, again, present in this place. It's not always going to be a win in your hunts, but at least we were able to showcase what's available inside. At the end of the day, it's all up to you when it comes to your personal preference. As we grow in this hobby, you have to understand that there's no right or wrong answer because your taste and mine are always subjective. And just in case you are not yet subscribed in our channel, please do hit the subscribe button down below. It will really mean a lot to me and you're going to help me in creating more contents like this. But if you're not yet ready to do that, it's totally fine. You being here, spending some of your time is more than enough already. Let me know in the comment section about the watches we saw. What do you think? Was it good or bad? I would love to know your thoughts. In the next few days, we're going to upload another episode. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Mad Corner, I'm out.